Archtempered Nu Udra Armor pieces are truly insane, amping up build variety and power for almost all weapon types. Today, we'll be making use of some of these pieces to create the best dual blade build of Title Update 3. If you enjoy videos like these, support the channel by liking the video and subscribe for more Monster Hunter Wilds content. Some of you may have access to YouTube's new hype feature. If you do, hype up the video, it helps the channel out a lot. Thanks. Best is a word with many different meanings, depending on who you ask. To some, it is the highest amount of damage possible, regardless of skill requirement. To others, it's about ease of use, how comfortable a build is to get to its full power. My definition of best is a mix of the two. Something that offers overwhelming power that is consistent and offers some quality of life comforts. To meet that definition, we'll be going over two variants in this video, one for solo play and one for multiplayer oriented fights, thanks to the Omega Resonance skill. To restate, as there's many conflicting information out there, the 2-piece and 4-piece Omega Resonance armor set bonus partially works in solo play. More on this when we get to the second build. It is decently good, but becomes exceedingly great in co-op. Each variant will also have a crafted charm option that is easily reproducible and a higher tier variant for those blessed with God Charm. To note, with both variants, the math will be based on weapons with a raw attack of 220. At its maximum potential, the very first variant will get a boost of a staggering 107 raw attack, 120 element attack, and an effective 55% affinity. To achieve all this, we're going to be using the following individual armor pieces: the Nu Udra Helmet Gamma, the Nu Udra Chest Gamma, the Raidao Gloves Gamma, the Lagia Chris Waist Beta, and the Lagia Chris Leggings Beta. Because we'll be using 3 armor pieces from the Archtempered Apex monsters, we'll gain access to the tried and true Lord Soul. This skill grants a 5% attack boost to our base raw attack and reduces our defense by 5% until we trigger its secondary skill, Tenacity. Tenacity lets us survive one lethal blow if we were to be hit while above a certain health threshold. Once we trigger this, we actually get a boost to our defenses and resistances. With 2 pieces of the Nu Udra Gamma armor, we get access to Bad Blood 1. Bad Blood deals an additional damage tick to a monster whenever the armor skill Resentment is active. The damage itself is impacted by a monster's hit zone and can only be triggered once every 5 seconds. And while this seems good and dandy, Resentment isn't really worth it on dual blades. So for this build, we're ignoring Bad Blood. Additionally, we'll gain access to Lagia Chris's 2-piece bonus, Bolt 1. Bolt 1 lets us build up a Thunderbolt by landing consecutive hits on a monster. After a certain threshold, a Thunder Strike will generate in addition to your normal attacks, dealing anywhere from 30 to 60 thunder damage and granting the user 15% affinity for 20 seconds. Once this 20-second buff expires, Bolt 1 cannot be triggered again for 30 seconds. While we could replace this for something like Black Eclipse 1 from 2 pieces of the Gormagala set, you lose out on 1 level of Weakness Exploit and 1 level of Latent Power by doing so, which nets us a higher loss of affinity overall during actual play. With the decorations that you see on screen, and every dual blade homie is his best friend, the Adrenaline Rush level 3 charm will gain access to the following armor skills. Weakness Exploit level 5 for 30% affinity whenever hitting weak points, and that increases to 50% if we're hitting wounds. Then we'll gain access to Burst level 5, granting us 18 raw attack and 120 element attack when we land 5 consecutive hits, something the dual blades can do very easily. We'll also get 1 level of Latent Power, granting us 10% affinity for 2 minutes whenever we are stuck in a fight for longer than 2 minutes or take 130 damage. While not a lot, we'll take any affinity that we can get for free, plus it helps reduce our stamina consumption from Demon Mode by 10% as well. Next, we'll get 3 levels of Adrenaline Rush. By landing a perfect evade, something that we'll normally want to do anyways to get Demon Dodge Boost's 15% attack boost, Adrenaline Rush 3 will give us 20 raw attack for 30 seconds. Then we'll get 1 level of Maximum Might, something that we won't really use, but whenever our stamina is full, which should be almost never, we'll gain a 10% increase to our affinity. And as for our last offensive skill, we'll get Counter-Strike level 3 for 25 raw attack for 45 seconds whenever we get knocked down or if we mistime our demon dodge. Something that is very hard to do but is possible because of the next 2 skills that we have. With our utility skills, we're going to get 2 levels of Evade Extender and 1 level of Evade Window to make our lives a lot easier when trying to trigger the demon dodge boost. This build will have 3 open 1-slot decorations, something we can use for Constitution level 3, or that can be replaced with Thunder Resistance level 3 if you're using the Legiacris weapons. If you have a God Charm with a desirable weapon skill such as Attack Boost 3, Razor Sharp 3, Critical Eye 3, or Mind's Eye 3, and 1 level of Burst, Adrenaline Rush or Weakness Exploit, and 2 open 1-slot armor decorations, then you'll be able to push this variant to its peak. By moving some armor decorations around, we'll be able to get Weakness Exploit level 5, Burst level 5, Latent Power level 1, Counter Strike level 3, Adrenaline Rush level 1, Maximum Might level 1, Evade Extender and Evade Window level 2, Constitution level 2, and 3 open 1-slot decorations. Whether you want to go with Divine Blessing level 3, Wide Range level 3, Speed Eating level 3, a permanent equipped Thunder Resistance level 3, or just dumping it all into Constitution, that's up to you. What essentially happens here is we're trading in 2 levels of Adrenaline Rush for something like Mind's Eye level 3, Critical Eye level 3, or Attack Boost level 3, which can be extremely worthwhile depending on the monster that you're fighting. No matter if you have a good charm or not, the build grants an immense boost in damage without greatly sacrificing affinity or utility. As for our second variant, we'll be replacing the 2-piece Legiacris armor pieces with the Omega Waist and Omega Leggings for the 2-piece Omega Set bonus, Omega Resonance. Contrary to initial research, Omega Resonance does work in solo play. Well, half of it, but that half is really good. Omega Resonance itself comes in 2 flavors, Local Resonance and Remote Resonance. These resonant types alternate every minute and 30 seconds. With Local Resonance, you'll pulse a small blue circle. When any allied hunters are inside this circle at the time of the pulse, you'll gain 20% affinity until the next pulse checks to see if anyone is inside that blue circle. As for Remote Resonance, you generate a red circle that checks to make sure that at least one allied hunter is outside of it, and if that condition is met, you get 10 raw attack. Interestingly enough, this buff persists until Remote Resonance shifts to Local Resonance. Unlike Local Resonance though, the red circle is not a constant ping to check if there are any hunters outside of it. Once you have it, you have it. Additionally, even when playing solo, Remote Resonance still activates as technically there are no hunters in your red circle, meaning every 1 minute and 30 seconds you'll always get the 10 raw attack buff, no questions asked. With that in mind, this variant is still plenty strong in solo play, but becomes absurdly powerful in co-op play, where Omega Resonance essentially has an effective 88% uptime on both local and remote resonance. At this build's maximum potential, the second variant provides a staggering boost of 117 raw attack, 120 element attack, and a 55% effective infinity. With the decorations you see on screen and the Adrenaline Rush level 3 charm, this variant will grant us Weakness Exploit 5, Burst 5, Adrenaline Rush 3, Latent Power 1, which can be swapped for Agitator 1 if you want a tiny bit more raw for the cost of affinity, Counter Strike 3, 1 Divine Blessing, Evade Window 2, and Evade Distance 2. If you have a God Charm with a desirable weapon skill, plus 1 level of Burst, Adrenaline Rush, or Weakness Exploit, and however many open decoration slots, then you'll be able to essentially trade out 2 levels of Adrenaline Rush for a level 3 weapon skill and however many open decoration slots that your charm has. For this example, I'm going to be using a Razor Sharp plus Burst level 1 charm, which nets me Burst level 5, Weakness Exploit level 5, Counter Strike level 3, Adrenaline Rush level 1, 2 levels of Evade Window, and 2 levels of Evade Distance with 5 open 1-slot decorations. No matter which variant you choose to go with, these builds maximizes an elemental weapons' potential. If you prefer Artian weapons, the ideal configuration would be a base of all attack, and on the refinement rolls, try for at least 1 level of sharpness with the rest being element or raw attack, with a slight bias towards the raw attack option. With 3 open 3-slot weapon decorations, consider the following weapon decorations: Razor Sharp 3 plus Handicraft 1, Razor Sharp 3 plus Elements Attack plus 1, Critical Boost 3, Critical Eye 3, Elements Attack 3 plus Critical Elements or Handicraft 1, and lastly, depending on the fight, Mind's Eye 3 could be very beneficial. If you have an Attack Boost 3 charm, definitely amp that up to level 4 or level 5 for a huge increase in raw attack. As for crafted weapon enjoyers, will be limited to an open 3-slot, 2-slot, and 1-slot weapon decoration. With that limit in mind, it's good to use the 2-slot and 1-slot to get something like Crit Boost 3, Then use the open 3-slot decoration for something like Razor Sharp 3 plus Handicraft 1, or even Elementic Tack 3 and Handicraft 1. Whatever you choose, try to pick something that gives you multiple skills with the 3-slot decoration. The most important thing to note between this build and the best dual blade build of Title Update 2.5 is the affinity. With this new Udra build, you're gonna have to be more precise with your positioning with the monster and with your allies if you want to make the most out of your affinity. For example, when fighting Omega Planetus, the effective affinity that you have against it will be very low until you break a leg. However, this is the exception, not the common case. For most fights, you make pretty good use of Weakness Exploit. And even then, you can upgrade your affinity by slotting in Expert level 3 into your Artian weapon, or by crafting an Artian weapon with 10 or 15% affinity. For most fights, the Title Update 2 dual blade build will offer a lot more consistent affinity. But the build in this video, even though it doesn't have the same level of consistency with its affinity uptime, it does make up for it in a lot more raw damage thanks to Counter-Strike 3. And there you have it, the best dual blade build of Title Update 3 that balances power and comfort. Give it a try and let me know what you think. If you have your own fun build or variants you'd like to share, let us know in the comments below. Best of luck to everybody prepping for Gogmazio. And if you're still struggling with Savage or Omega Planetus, hopefully this build can help push you over the edge. For more powerful and fun builds, check out this video on screen right now. My name is Varsona, and I'll see you in the next video.